Alright, welcome to Bite with Vikas episode 4.0. And who do we have here? We have Chef Parag Nair with us, and he's a founder of Budget Butchery, one of the unique concept and one of the upcoming, you can say, revolution in this food industry. We will hear more from it, and we would love to hear how this concept came into your picture or your brain, sir. Just let us know about it.
Well, to put it in simple and short terms, Budget Butchery is generally pre-marinated meat and fish products. So, if you look at the current market trend, the idea came during the lockdown period when I realized that retail is the only business that was functioning during lockdown. Rest everything had come to a standstill.
Yeah, that was a reality check for us, that what can survive in real time.
Right. So, and rest everything had come to a standstill.
Correct.
So, I was in the thought process that in whatever knowledge or skills that I have, how do I develop something that is retail? And with the kind of experience that I have had working in hotels or running my own restaurant, small scale restaurant chain or pub and lounge, and I realized that doing all this is very labor intensive. Second, it is high on liability, light on asset and high on liability.
Correct, yes.
My business experience says that you should always have a liability light model of business, asset light and liability light model of business to have a successful, to build a successful business in the current scenario.
So this was a perfect fit for you.
Right. So based on all these ideas or based on all these experiences that I have had in the past life of mine, I came to a conclusion that this is something that can be done. Where what we basically do is we pre-marinate meat and fish products. And currently, since the whole culture, socio-economic fabric of our nation is moving towards nuclear family, and both the spouses in the house working.
This is a very realistic thing which is going on right now. We are focusing on very nuclear families, and the needs are more right now. We want to enjoy our life. We also want to maintain our health along with that. So in this case, I guess your product is the right fit.
So based on those findings or those understandings, we designed this product. So these products are basically 250 grams to 500 grams packaged products.
That's a sufficient portion for one two
meal,
people.
One meal person for one meal for two people.
Yes.
That is what the whole idea was, that nobody should end up it's a hassle-free meal.
Correct. Yes.
So once you end up buying a packet of Budget Butchery chicken or fish product, you don't have to think about where do I store after my meal.
Correct.
How do I store it?
Yes.
Will it remain fresh?
Yes.
What will be this thing? You don't have to think about any of those. And our motto was to keep it simpler than making a packet of Maggi.
Correct.
Even Maggi requires a lot of additional effort of boil the water, add this, add that, put that separate packet of Maggi masala into it. There are a lot of such processes that has to be followed while making Maggi. But for this thing, you don't have to go through all that. It is a zero-brainer. You just have to open the packet, put it in a non-stick pan, stir it for say 2-3 minutes, put a lid on it, stir it again for 2-3 minutes, and that's done.
Nice. Very unique concept that you have gotten. So how much time did you take, sir, exactly to think about this concept? Was there a lot of brainstorming involved, or it was just a spontaneous because of your vast experience in the industry?
No, it took almost a month and a half for the concept.
So it was your own idea
to
bring it. Was there any help from the family or your friends maybe?
No, nobody like that.
It was in your brain, and then you just thought one day you can
go so basically I have a few friends whom I used to call and discuss that I am thinking about something like this. I had a few inputs from them, and moreover the previous place where I used to work, or for the gentleman I used to work, he was a thoroughbred businessman. So how do you conceptualize a business, or how do you visualize a business, is something which I learned from him. Because he was a startup. He had a successful startup. He's somebody who's made
So
a
right
startup.
insights are also necessary with the right people, and also the sufficient experience is also needed in this industry, as you can say.
Experience is always needed in all the industries.
Right.
So experience is something which teaches you a lot, provided you are ready to learn out of it.
Correct.
So if you say that I have experienced a lot, but then if I am not ready to give an insight on it or learn from it, then that experience is waste.
Right. So how many years of total experience you have in the hotel industry, sir?
I have around 16 plus years.
16 plus. And what are these different sections that you worked upon, or maybe different organizations?
My
you
basic
worked with?
specialization was food and beverage production.
All right.
I started as a management trainee in one of the reputed hotels in India.
Okay.
From there, I shifted to working abroad for almost 2 years.
Wow.
Working abroad gave me a different perspective about the F&B
It opens
business.
your horizon, like how.
Yeah,
people
about
think
F&B
in-
business altogether, because F&B business in India is different and abroad is different.
Correct.
Whether it comes to the numbers that the organizations or F&B outlets
Correct.
do over there, or the spends that they do on their products, and
The thought process is different. Little bit
it is different.
than
It
Indian.
gives you a different angle altogether, where you realize that okay, F&B works this way also.
Yes, correct.
It is not the only thing what you see in India
Correct.
is the way that F&B works, but F&B works this way also.
And you definitely need different perspective in order to grow also.
Always,
Yes.
always. Then I came back from there. I started my own chain of a small fast food
Oh,
restaurant.
great.
I ran it for around 3-4 years. Then due to certain reasons, I had to shut it down. Then I shifted from that to running a lounge bar. I did that for almost 2-3 years.
So you were starting your career as an entrepreneur much before launching this product.
Yes. I started my career as an entrepreneur after 7 years of experience in the industry.
Great. So that thing was already in your mind that you want to become an entrepreneur and develop your path as an entrepreneur.
No, that happened by accident, I would say.
Okay.
And moreover, the confidence that gave me that I can become an entrepreneur was because of my management training.
All right. Yes.
Because if you see, when I got out of the college, it was all kitchen.
Correct.
But then when I got into management training, by force, we had to learn the whole operations per se of a hotel.
So just a quick note for the audience is that management training is a design program maybe for 1.5 or 2 years, wherein you get exposed to all the core area of interest or a department which are present in the hotel. Apart from that, whatever sub departments are there, those are also exposed to you. So what happens is your area of interest remains at one side. You get real time knowledge in all the departments. So your horizon gets explored. That's what you want to say, right? So once you have the big perspective, looking at by looking at things, then you obviously start thinking more and more about it, how you can go about different things, trying like being an entrepreneur. I guess that's what the key factor.
So that is where, because being an entrepreneur does not only mean about a product.
Correct.
It involves a lot of things. It involves a product, it involves finances,
Yes.
majorly it involves understanding your banking system,
Yes.
your
You
financial,
need to
how
understand running capital.
how your economics works.
Yes,
You
yes.
have to understand all that. So that does not come in operational department per
Yes.
se. It has to come through all these things only, or then you have to have very keen observation skill, that you're still focused on one department, but you're observing a lot of things that is happening.
Correct.
And one major thing that hospitality industry teaches you, or it teaches you, is observation.
Correct,
If you are
yes.
observant,
Eye for detail, we call it. Yeah.
you kind of become successful in whatever you are doing, and that is what is required majorly
Correct.
in this industry per se.
So do you think this starting up the business could have been a different way if you would have started long back when you started your career? Was there experience required in the hotel industry? Did that help, or directly somebody can come and start up a business?
I wouldn't suggest that, because business is a tough ask. It is a tough game, unless
So it's
and
not
until
like a newcomer's game.
No, it is not something that you can just do one fine morning. You get up and then you say,
Yes.
from today I have become an entrepreneur and I'll
So it
do.
doesn't happen like that. You
Yeah.
have to have
See,
proper
because
experience. in
basically
the
you
industry.
need to understand that being an entrepreneur is different and being a businessman is different.
Right. There's a difference
And
between entrepreneur
and
yes.
businessman. An entrepreneur is a person who invents something or innovates something
Correct.
tries to bring that product into the market,
Yes.
tries to educate the market,
Exactly.
or tries to make a consumer base for that product.
Right.
A businessman is a person, you can call him a banya.
Yeah, exactly.
He is not reinventing a wheel.
He is
He
just
knows you buy
taking
this
one
for
product.
this much, sell it
Yes.
for this much. This is my profit.
He will
I
pick one
multiply
product
it.
and sell it to you.
I
That's it.
multiply
There's no
it,
innovation.
right.
in-
I multiply it into so much, and
Correct.
a
Right.
business is built.
Right. So you have to have a very innovative.
So being
thinking
an
process.
entrepreneur is the most difficult thing.
Right.
And 99% of the time, an entrepreneur fails at his first attempt.
All right.
And if you look at successful entrepreneurs, none of them, to my experience, I would say, have become successful in the first go.
Right. Obviously.
Very, very, very few people would have become successful. That too, if you dig deep into their story, you will realize that they have had a very strong mentor
Yes.
or very strong backup.
Correct. Correct.
Where even if they have made mistakes, there has been somebody to pull them out of it or give them a hand to.
We're talking about financial backup here.
Finance
Or,
alone is not everything.
Okay.
There, finance is though the artery of business. Finance alone is not everything. But
Okay.
yes, you can say finance is important, is very
But
important.
you need to have a
But-
lot of insights. Yes.
But there are a lot of other things also involved in business. So if you say that my father has a lot of money and from tomorrow I'll do business,
Correct.
it does not work.
So when we talk about the students' growth, and if one student really want to become an entrepreneur, so then he need to understand this point that it's not beginner's game. Like you cannot just one fine day get up in the morning and decide that I want to become entrepreneur. You need to have right a backup first of all. Secondly, knowledge about that department or maybe about that field or a business, and for that you need to enter into maybe hotel or organization or any other
To
path.
become, if we are talking about becoming an entrepreneur, I would say it all solely depends on the person who wants to become.
All right.
See what he wants to sell. If he is interested in doing something in hospitality, then obviously he'll have to work in industry.
All right.
That is where you see, you learn.
Correct.
Right. If he wants to do completely something else, then he need not work in the hospitality industry.
Correct. Yes.
So being an entrepreneur or businessman, being an entrepreneur or businessman means it is a challenge every day.
Right.
You don't have anybody to fall back on.
Correct.
You are the only pillar
Correct.
on which you are expecting the whole business to be built or an empire to be
Correct.
standing.
You have to be mentally prepared that you can fail, and
You
100%
you will
fail.
You will.
Obviously.
There is no, if you are
That
becoming
immunity has to be built within
if you are becoming an entrepreneur or a businessman, first
Correct.
thing is you have to be a challenger. Second is you should have a rock solid mind
Absolutely.
and heart.
Yes.
And you should understand the logic. First of all, you should understand the logic why God has given you brains in your head and not in your heart.
Yes.
And
correct.
why you have your brains on top and heart
Yes.
below.
Which one is the
head.
priority? Like,
Yes. So that is very, very important.
you have to
when
be very practical while doing the business. Yes.
practical, and what do you say?
Prioritize it.
You should have your head over your shoulder.
Correct.
You should be able to analyze everything,
Correct.
and not all your decisions are going to be right.
Correct.
Or for a matter of fact, with my experience, I would say that none of my decisions have been right. You make a
But you
decision
learn
and
from
then,
that experience
yeah,
only,
you
and
make
then
a
you keep
decision and
building
then
up.
you
new
keep
things.
running around it or working around it to make it the
Correct.
best decision.
Yes. Correct.
So entrepreneurship or business or becoming a businessman is not something which is very easy, but yes, you have to have real good passion for it, and if somebody is passionate about it, then obviously he would choose to get the experience from the people who are doing it successfully and then try and do something for
Absolutely.
himself.
So this is the aim of this particular video, is to get you the right person right in front of you who has actual knowledge in this particular field and has been an successful entrepreneur right in front of you. So that was the talk all about. Thank you so much, sir, for being on this Bite with Vikas. It's a great pleasure to have you on this show, and thank you so much, sir. See you in the next.